Our 13th stop is New York, the Empire State, where we focus on the city that never sleeps, but not for the dead. Join us as we take a bite of the Big Apple and explore their tales less traveled.
Welcome back, guys. We're glad to have you. My name is Brooke, and this is the Tales Less Traveled. I'm joined today by my co-hosts.
Oh, hi. I didn't realize this was your podcast.
I didn't realize we had one big host and then co-host.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought this was a family tradition.
Well, you guys know what they say about New York. You gotta live big or go home.
I don't know. Guys, they don't say that.
Hey, guys. This is Josh. After a difficult legal battle, I lost the rights to this podcast to Brooke. She's been kind enough to let me stay on and research, but 100% of the proceeds are going to her.
Nice. And of those proceeds, we made $0.0. So
I've actually lost money.
Guys, why haven't y'all sent us emails?
Yeah, we're working on the new contract.
You're acting a little
sus.
We didn't hear anything about a legal battle.
I always,
Yeah, Brooks.
Listen, Boo and I were in the Hamptons for a while. Like, we were enjoying some nice beach time.
Her lawyers destroyed me.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not going to say anything while you guys were having a legal battle. Boo and I might have partied a little bit.
I tried to represent myself, and it did not work well.
Listen, I had to pay off some strippers because they had some pictures of us.
She got Ken's star. And,
damn.
Yeah, it was over after that.
Yeah, I talked to Kim K because she was like, can I sit in on this? Because she wanted to intern for her law degree. And I was like, Kim, you're no Nick, but I guess I'll deal. And Nick was like,
Josh,
I'll pay for it. So
I could have given you my my lawyer.
She had Ken's star. I mean, if he can get OJ off, I had no chance.
Okay. Yeah, really.
You don't know my lawyer.
Wasn't it over in, not even, 5 minutes?
Actually, I walked in the courtroom and the judge just said that it was over. I was 2 hours late, though. They didn't have any leeway.
The judge didn't let you have time to explain yourself.
Maybe they did reach out to us, Boo, but maybe we were just, a little
Well,
hungover.
here's the thing. So we were traveling from Minnesota. And Alex and I decided to travel with Alex this time to New York. Mm-hmm. And I was like, Alex, you know me.
Yeah.
I know you.
Yeah.
We love to party hard.
We do.
And we were like, too bad we're not in Vegas, but we will be eventually. But let's just live it up in New York.
Yeah.
And
so
we did.
We met someone, actually, as soon as we arrived in New York City.
We can't say his name. We had to sign an NDA, but we did meet someone.
Yeah. It was maybe around the Wall Street area, but that's fine. And somehow we ended up in the Hamptons.
And yeah, we did have to pay off some people because
I got a little rowdy.
They had photos of Alex, and
I'm
like,
sorry, it wasn't Kinstar, it was Alan Dershowitz who.
Oh God!
I needed to look that up. I'm sorry.
Like I said, these people had photos of Alex. I was like, we can't have this for the image of our podcast. So,
but don't worry, Brooke. I didn't do anything that was bad.
Listen, I sued y'all for child support, and I'm just waiting for that to come in the mail.
For what child?
For the child of Tales Less Traveled. This is my baby now.
No. Anyways. Well, what do we have planned for today?
Well, hold on. If you guys
we haven't even talked about what state we're doing.
I was gonna say we haven't even announced the state. Yeah. We're in New York.
It's New York.
Okay.
Yeah. So, how do we feel about New York?
I love New York.
We've had a blast.
You guys know how I feel about New York. I will be living here eventually.
First time I went to New York, I was 12 on a school trip.
Really?
Yep.
12?
School
For
trip?
a school trip? Wait,
Yep. We flew to Washington, D.C. and then drove to New York.
What the hell, St.
What kind of school trips do they do in Texas?
I was gonna say, what did St.
Every 2 years, the 7th and 8th graders would go to Washington, D.C. and New York, and it would be like, Washington, D.C. would be the unfun part of the trip. We'd have,
the history.
A bunch of museum tours, waking up early, going to, the Capitol and all that, and then we took a bus to New York, And New York was fun because they let us sleep in, and we got to, like, they're basically just like, okay, where do you want to go? And let's break up into groups and go wherever.
Did y'all buy I Love NY t-shirts?
I did.
Yeah.
I bought it. I was in Chinatown.
Yeah,
and
buddy.
I was like, did not know anything about bartering.
Oh God! So
she was like, she's trying to sell like 3 T-shirts for $10 or something.
Oh,
and I was
that's
like,
not bad.
or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just wanted the one. I love.
Yeah.
I
So
Heart
you
New
bought
York.
3 of them?
No, I was trying to get one, and she was just like, she's like $8, and I was like, I only have 5. Or no, what was it? I was like, oh, can I get this? Or maybe it was like 15, like 3 for 15. And I was like, oh, can I get this one shirt for $5? That makes sense. She's like, no, $10. And I was just like,
but you're selling 3 shirts for 15.
5, 10,
15.
yeah, I don't know. I was just like, I have $5, and she just took the money out of my hand. I was like, okay, I guess I'll leave now. Like, I guess this is a finished transaction.
You know where we went for 8th grade?
She didn't speak much English.
Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas is
And then
good,
in
but
8th grade we went
it's
to
alright.
Austin and San Antonio.
We didn't go to New York though for 8th grade.
I think we went to the wrong middle school.
It was
honestly.
But it
weird
was a good.
because
Well, you did. I
they.
didn't.
So it was a very weird situation because I went to New York in 7th grade. It was a big school trip, and our parents had to pay for it basically. And then
Right,
in
I
8th
went to
grade,
one.
for whatever reason, I don't know what the reasoning by it, but they were like, "Oh, let's do another school trip to San Antonio and Austin if we could just raise enough money."
Man, your middle
So we
school
did.
had money.
We did bake sales 3 times a week for 6 months, and then we went with
So
that money.
wait, oh yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
We didn't do bake sales in high school.
Yeah.
We did. I was in charge of the bake sale.
They showed you how to work hard for your money.
Well, here's my thing about New York. Alex and I went to New York a couple times, family trips, and actually recently I had a friend go to New York, and she came back and brought me back an I Heart NY t-shirt, and I was like, this is the
They're
most
so
touristy thing. I love it.
Did it have bed bugs on it?
No, it was
Mine came with lots of
no, mine
bugs.
didn't.
Nice.
No, mine was like
Mine was
after like washing it.
expensive.
After washing it once, I feel like the letters started crumbling.
Yeah.
No, it
I
was
never did.
no, it was definitely nice. Like we went on some family trips. Those were good times.
Yeah.
And then recent memory is when Brooke and I, since she didn't live too far,
I lived 2 hours from NY when I was in Pennsylvania.
so we would literally just drive over for the
drive
day,
over.
That's literally going
Drive
to like
back.
Oklahoma.
basically.
Another
Yeah.
hour.
So we'd catch like maybe a show, or we'd go in for dinner, or just walk around.
And then go home.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice.
That's fun.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. You never realize what you have until like you move, and then it's
You
like,
move-
oh shit, I got a
Damn,
plan
this
to
is-
actually go there.
So you move south.
Yeah.
Lose everything.
Oh.
Oh,
Excuse me.
that's
Sorry,
a business
that's
call.
that's a business call. Hold on.
That's-
That's our manager.
Louis? Hello?
Tell him that we're recording right now.
Louis, yeah, I'm kind of in the middle of something right now.
We all are.
Yeah, no, I'm here with I'm here with the 3 of them. Oh, she didn't accept that price? Okay. You know what?
We're gonna have to contact Big Boss.
Yeah, Louis, let me give you a call back later. All right, just figure it out. Just
You
figure
know
it
how
out.
to do it.
Okay. No.
Say hey.
No. Oh. Yeah, my sister says hey. I don't
Hey,
know if
is
you're gonna
this-
meet for dinner later. I don't know. Louis, I gotta go.
I feel like I just
I was
singed
gonna
off my
ask him if
eyebrows.
he's free tonight.
That's fine.
Apparently, he thought y'all were gonna have dinner.
Sorry, I didn't realize my phone was gonna beep. I thought it was.
That was
I put it on
Louis.
Do Not Disturb.
Yeah, you should have told Louis we were in the middle of recording.
Yeah, well, he's gotta figure that shit out. But yeah, no, New York's
Anyways,
great.
New York. We are in New York. How did you guys get here?
Scientology though, man. Wow.
In
New
New
York?
York?
We're in New York City. Remember we
Oh
walked?
yeah, we passed the building
we
in New
walked
York.
right in front of the
That's
big
right.
ass
They,
building.
you know what?
and there was someone
scared
outside
me.
that's
What
just
were-
like trying to hand
what
out
were we
pamphlets.
You know
Are we
what?
going
No
to dinner?
disrespect. Don't say anything. This might get us in trouble.
No, that's right. I mean, you know what? If there's a listener who's into Scientology, that's fine. No
Yeah.
big deal. I personally, there's just a lot of interesting information there that just kind of like.
It doesn't match up with our beliefs.
True.
And that's totally fine. That's just how it is in
Yeah.
the world. There are so many different religions that we're like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
I-
We love to learn about them, but we're not going
I don't want to learn about Scientology.
Hey,
That's
Mr. Miscavige, where's your wife?
What?
Where's your wife? Where's your wife, Shelly? She hasn't been seen in years. Scientology.
Yo, Tom Cruise!
You're gonna take my negativity ghosts out of my hands?
Do you guys remember when we were in Oklahoma for my birthday and we turned on the TV at the hotel?
It was a Scientology
It was
channel.
a whole ass Scientology
They have
channel.
a following.
They're powerful.
Look, I'm gonna tell you right now. John Travolta is gay, but he doesn't want to come out, and Scientology has a ton of shit on him.
These are Brooke's,
It's true. It's totally true.
Yeah, these are her facts.
I
of the
do.
day.
I think he's
Brooke's
gay.
actually wearing a pointed tinfoil hat right now.
Nicolas Cage actually told all this to Brooke.
Yeah, they're
And
good friends. I don't know.
Y'all know Nick Cage has connections.
Yeah, he's
And
a little
so
crazy.
do we. Because we know Brooke who
knows
knows Nick Cage.
Guys, you can't just say something like that now.
Oh, okay, but we're over here bashing
Look,
Scientology.
when I say I can say Nick, but when you guys say his last name, then it's a name drop and it's a whole legal issue. And look, I just got this podcast, and I can't go through proceedings again. I just can't. It's too stressful. Kim's going through her own divorce. It's
hold
just
on.
crazy.
Look, I was gonna ask you guys how y'all got here, and suddenly we're into this whole ordeal.
I was gonna ask you how you like these Long Island iced teas that I
Oh,
slaved
they're
over.
good.
Well, evidently we like them a lot. Except naturally Boost only just drinking sweet tea.
She's just
I'm
drinking
just
sweet and sour.
drinking lemonade with
So half and half.
with a secret ingredient.
Love.
It's a secret midsummer ingredient.
God, oh, God.
We could turn this episode into an episode about Midsummer, but
I've been watching
stop
a lot
right there.
of
Watch
a lot
our
of
other
movies lately.
podcast, Theater
I have an
101.
announcement to make when I turn 21. June,
Yes.
July, August, 3 months almost. Actually, it's exactly 3 months. Isn't today the 13th?
It is.
So it's exactly 3 months from now. When
We're recording the 13th episode on the 13th.
Oh my God! Everyone make a wish. Great. You're still thinking of one?
I wished I could have my podcast back.
Well, you know what they say.
You can't
In
say
New
what
York.
you wished for.
Anything can happen.
I thought that was Vegas.
Um,
No, what stays in Vegas? What happens in
What
Vegas?
happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
But I have an announcement when I turn 21.
Wow. Okay.
That's gonna be the...
Nice.
I'm sure no one heard that. So, I always like to mention like what horror movies are in the state we're in. So I got a couple.
okay.
So, the 1979's Amityville Horror,
Yes.
2005 remake, and the entire movie series. Q, 1981, 1981's Q, which if you ever wanted to watch a movie about a dragon-like creature on top of the Chrysler Building,
Okay.
go check out Q.
That's for
King
you.
Kong.
Chud, one of John Goodman's first movies.
Good.
Jacob's Ladder, which is the inspiration for Silent Hill.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Wow.
About a Vietnam veteran who comes back and starts seeing demons.
Huh.
Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan.
There we go.
Wow.
Damn, Jason really gets around.
Yeah. He kills kids while doing it.
Nice.
What a nice man.
Rosemary's Baby.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I Am Legend.
Yes.
And A Quiet Place.
Here's the thing.
A Quiet Place takes place
Yep,
in New York?
upstate New York. I looked
Upstate.
it up.
Huh.
So, I always tell my mom most of every romantic cliche movie, early 2000s, 90s, always take place in New York. Have y'all noticed that?
Because it's a city of dreams. Where things can happen.
It's all the...
You go there and you can become that theater actress that you want to be.
That's not what
I heard your dream. That was your dream.
No.
You've got mail.
Yes. But, no,
Whatever happened to Meg Ryan?
10 ways to... What's that? 10 days to...
10 ways to lose a guy?
To lose a guy. Bride Wars. Love Bride Wars. My favorite movie.
I like Robot
You've
Wars.
got mail.
You've Got Mail.
That's an oldie. Oldie but a goodie.
Oh my gosh, there's so many... Oh,
The Thomas
Made
Crown
in
Affair.
Manhattan.
Thomas Crown Affair is a good one.
The Wedding Planner. I think that's
Are these spooky?
No, these are... No,
I mean,
so you've said your horror movies. Now let me do
If
my
you're scared of
romantic.
marriage, it can be scary for the wedding.
You know what? It probably would scare me the most of these horror movies.
But,
I think it's the reason why, for the longest time, a lot of those movies were set in New York.
I think there's an appeal there. I think they
New York.
ran with the image of New York City.
Anything
Imagine-
can happen in
but
New York.
yeah, 'cause
the hustle
imagine-
and bustle of the city.
Yeah. And and imagine a love story taking place in good old downtown Dallas.
You know what? There should have
It
been
can happen,
there
but-
should have been a
Dallas Buyers Club.
There should have been a subplot
that was a good
in
movie,
Friday
too.
the 13th Part 8 where Jason goes to New York and finds love and he puts the machete away.
That would have been a really good alternative ending.
So before we start, I do have a little fun fact.
Okay.
In an hour south of Buffalo, and I found out there is a little hamlet called Lilydale. And Lilydale has a population of 275.
What is it? I'm sorry. What is a hamlet?
It's like a small town.
You ever read
Like a very
Hamlet?
small town. That-
Yes, I have read Hamlet,
those
but
two
it's
are-
two different things.
Clearly, I'm into the art.
Yeah, just think of like a little, like smaller than a village.
Smaller than a town, smaller than a village.
Smaller than a village. There's a hamlet.
Huh? I've never.
There's 275 people, and the entire town is founded on the religion of spiritualism.
Oh.
So which is the belief that the spirits of the dead exist and can talk to the living. So if you go to Lilydale and people go there just to have their fortunes read, and there's just like it is just the whole town is just
Can we go?
full of
Guys, why
I'd
not?
be
Psychics.
really interested.
like
Oh,
psychics and fortune tellers
I
and
would
stuff.
so be all over that.
So you go there for seances and fortune tellings, palm readings.
I wouldn't do a seance.
I would not do a seance either, but I would do like fortune telling.
Yeah, I
and
don't
a
want to welcome
psychic.
I would
anything
do like
to this
a
world.
I'd do like a black mass.
I gotta tell y'all a story about
Oh.
Sacrifice like a goat.
Oh,
how
Oh God! Isn't that
Julia had
Shiva?
Julia had a recent psych reading, and it was the complete
Psyched her out.
the complete stereotype of what you'd think someone would try and
You're
scam
gonna
you
fall
for.
into money soon. Don't
You're
worry
gonna
about
be
that.
rich
It's
and
okay.
you're about to find the one.
I'll have to tell you all that later.
Actually, I was told that I was going to find my soulmate or the person I would eventually really fall in love with in 2025.
Frank Sinatra Jr.
Yep.
Wow, that's coming up.
Yeah.
2025.
Soon.
4 years, babe.
You're gonna be 25.
Because, okay, if you guys are into astrology, I'm not going to talk a lot about this, but it's basically...
fall in love with someone whose moon is in Aquarius.
Well, okay, hold on.
Oh, sure.
basically where your moon sign is, yeah.
Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper? Let me just say this real quick. Basically, where your moon sign is, someone can actually figure out where your moon sign lands in Jupiter, and whenever your moon sign lands in Jupiter, that's when technically you would find your soulmate. So I was told that.
I didn't want to tell you this, but my moon sign's gonna land in Jupiter in 2025.
Oh God!
Am I doing refills?
Yes.
Yeah. Are we taking a short pause?
We haven't even started.
Okay, hold on.
Hey, do you want me to? I don't know how.
don't pause it.
I don't want to mess with it.
No, don't touch. No touch.
Okay, we're back. Alright, so I guess we'll finally jump into these stories.
Half an hour later.
So we're gonna start our journey and also, unfortunately, I wanted to do the entire state of New York, and I ended up only doing the city.
Okay.
So
That's
we got nothing upstate. I will like mention some things, but maybe later we can dive deeper into them. But yeah, this episode is just going to be stuff in the city because there is a lot of interesting stuff going on.
All right.
So we're going to
Yeah.
start in Staten Island.
Woohoo! Where
Um,
Pete Davidson's from, I think.
On Staten Island, many children grew up hearing the urban legend of the boogeyman of Staten Island, a homicidal maniac named Cropsy. Now, stop me if you've heard this before, but Cropsy was an escaped mental patient with a hook for a hand.
Oh my
Captain
gosh.
Hook.
Yeah.
No. Close though. Yeah.
Now, unlike the
Captain
famous, unlike the famous story of the couple making out in the car
Yep,
and
and
the
then
hook-handed
the
killer,
hook is like stuck in their car.
so
What story is that?
Yeah, it's
We
okay.
talked about it.
the hook. Okay, so a couple go out
to Lover's Lane.
to Lover's Lane to make
Kiss,
out.
kiss.
Yep,
Kiss.
yep.
Okay.
Lana Del Rey sings it about it all the time.
Got it.
They hear something in the woods. The girl gets scared. The boyfriend goes, "Oh, don't worry." Oh, they're listening to the radio, and there's an escaped mental patient. Turns it off. They're making out. They hear a noise in the woods. She gets scared, and the guy goes to check it out, and he never comes back. So she's in the car, and she hears scraping on the roof of the car, but she doesn't go out. So, I might be butchering this. It's been a while since I heard this story. I think she ends up driving off, or something like trying to get in the car, so she drives off, and
she gets to a gas station.
When she gets to the gas station, she goes to call the police, and on her door handle is a hook.
Yeah.
Got it.
And the police go out there, find out that her boyfriend's hung up in a tree, and he was at the same level that his feet would have been dragging across the roof of the car.
That's so sad.
Yeah. So that's basically what the hook-handed killer story is. That's the one I heard. So unlike this, Cropsey doesn't go after teenagers, but he goes after children.
Oh, come on.
Leave the children alone.
He will catch the child with his sharp hooked hand and drags them into an elaborate tunnel system maze that exists underneath the Seaview Hospital in Staten Island, where he escaped and is now an abandoned hospital.
Peter Parker, get on this shit. What are you doing?
For real, though.
So it makes sense why legends would pop up about this, because Seaview Hospital consisted of 37 buildings, and there's an elaborate tunnel system connecting all of them. And it was abandoned since 1961, with the last patient being treated in the 50s. It was a tuberculosis hospital, and after they found the cure for tuberculosis, they kind of stopped needing it. So it was just parts of, some of the buildings have been repurposed, but a lot of the buildings are just rotting. Hospital beds and wheelchairs are just kind of exactly where they've been left. Some people have even found file cabinets with medical records still in them. It was just they just walked out. They left the hospital, and then they were just don't come back to work because we're closed.
Jesus. Pandemic, anyone?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, like I said, it's easy to see that a abandoned hospital would be the home to a psychotic child killer. So this is where it gets weird. So so pop culture wise, this legend is so big that there's a movie based off Cropsey called The Burning from 1981. And it was an adaptation of Cropsey's story, co-written by Harvey Weinstein.
Oh my god!
who grew up listening
You're
to
right,
stories
this is a horror story.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And don't worry, it'll all come back to him at the end of this.
To Harvey or Cropsey?
Yeah, to Harvey Weinstein.
God. He's
So-
a true killer.
So yeah, he grew up going to camp in the New York area and hearing stories of Cropsey, so it made him want to make a movie around it. And just to show how, popular this urban legend was, at the exact same time, the slasher film Madman was from 1982 was originally going to be based on Cropsey as well, but when they found out about The Burning, they changed the antagonist. But there was going to be two movies at the exact same time about Cropsey.
Yeah, don't you hate when that happens? When Surf's Up and Happy Feet came out at the same time, and you're like, what are the odds? All these penguins.
It happens so often.
I think it's because people go to networks and they pitch something, and then they're like, nah, we don't like the idea, but then they're like, well, now they're gone. Let's tweak it and make it ours.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That happens all the freaking time.
Yeah.
You been in those meetings?
No, but I saw on TikTok this girl. She was an intern for, I don't know if you saw it, but I think she was an intern for Converse. And
they stole her sneaker
they
design.
stole her designs and tweaked it and made it their own for these new line of shoes that were coming out.
The shoes are kind of dope though.
Yeah, they do, because she did designs
on
based
the national
off
park.
Yeah, national parks.
They're kind of dope.
Yeah, and I was like, it happens, babe. I mean, look what happened to Alex, but we won't get into that.
Y'all don't want to hear my story.
Yeah.
Her High School Musical 3, but we'll get into it.
I'm
later.
telling you.
Let's go.
Side thing that I do want to say that's not related to how they stole my idea. I still want to put a freaking little rocket ship on the back of a penguin. I still want to do it.
Rocket
Why?
penguin.
I want them to fly.
You know
I want them
the-
to experience that.
Experience flight for a couple seconds before they explode.
That might be a little...
No, I think
That's
there's
so sad.
I think there's a way we can tweak it because they should be able to at least experience flight.
Yeah, but they get to swim like no other birds do.
Aww.
Why not have both?
I would rather be able...
Okay, not
If I had to choose between flying and breathing underwater, I would breathe underwater.
I think I would fly.
Not to say... I know penguins don't breathe underwater. I'm just saying.
I think I would fly just because I love
they can hold their...
space.
I think it'd be neat for them. That's all I'm saying.
My old Tumblr was called The Pig and the Penguin. I deleted it, so y'all can't find it.
Nice.
So anyways, continue.
Yeah,
please.
so we're going to shift gears a little bit, move away from Cropsey. And I'm going to talk about a man named Andre Rand.
Okay.
So this guy worked...
Is he a ballerina?
What
He is. Oh, well, that's it. That's all I was going to say. I guess we'll move on. No, this guy worked as a janitor at the Willowbrook...
my god!
It's always the freaking janitors, man.
Yeah, so he worked as a janitor at the Willowbrook State School on Staten Island.
Hey.
This institution was built as a place to care for children with intellectual...
Josh, this is really a downer, this episode, if it's all about child murder.
No, it's not.
Just wait. It might be fun. Yeah, so this was a place to care for children who were lacking intellectual abilities.
Oh my god.
And like a lot of the hospitals at the time, it was a living hell throughout the 1970s.
No shit.
And would be closed down in 1987. Mm-hmm. Some of the issues present in the school were its unsanitary conditions, which I thought was supposed to be Andre's job.
He's a janitor.
Yeah. Overcrowding. They had a max capacity of 4,000, and they had 6,000 kids there.
Oh.
Well, they're small and compact.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
There were severe punishments, unethical medical experiments on the children, which included injecting several of them with hepatitis to research the virus, which just caused the children to become severely ill. And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, many of the children had to deal with abundant and horrific sexual abuse by the staff.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and you can see, like, there's an investigative journalist who broke this story and got the whole place to, like, shut down. But he went in there and, like, it was almost like a scene from, like, Outlast. They're, like, they're just, like...
Girl, it's a video game that you played.
You know,
Oh,
the game,
yeah.
it's just, like, there's a bunch of just, like, naked kids, and it's just a dark room, like, no lights. They're all just, like...
Never got
packed.
that far.
They're just packed in this room, and it's, like, some of them have severe mental handicaps, and they're just, like, drooling, and just, like, they're clearly not there. They're not getting taken care
And
of.
they're naked?
They're
No,
naked.
they're
They're just
abused.
living in, like, there's just...
Fecal matter on
fecal
the
matter
floor.
and urine everywhere. Yeah, so... Unfortunately, this hell was allowed to continue for so long as many of the parents found this as a place to just kind of get rid of their kids. They didn't care if they ever saw them again. But, you know, the atrocities that went on in the hospital would have some good come out of it, as the negative reaction to the public's negative reaction helped push a civil rights legislation that would protect institutionalized people with mental disabilities moving forward.
You know, not enough, but good enough for them. Not enough for now.
Yeah. So we're going to get back to Andre Rand.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
So, starting when he was 25, he spent 16 months in prison when he attempted to have sex with a 9-year-old.
This is already, like, he's
Yeah.
going to his paradise right now.
And let me just remind you, after he got arrested for trying to have sex with a 9-year-old, he was hired at this job at a children's hospital.
Yeah.
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 In 1972, 5-year-old Alice Pereira went missing, never to be seen again. She was with her older brother after being distracted for a moment. He turned around, turned back, she was gone. Rand was heavily suspected, but there was no evidence that could link him to the disappearance. Next, in 1981, 7-year-old Holly Ann Hughes left with her friend to buy a bar of soap at the store when Rand drove up, pulled the girl into the car, and eyewitnesses saw the girl leave with Rand, who was, I think he was wearing like a paper mask.
Oh, that's good.
In 1983, Rand was arrested after he kidnapped a school bus of children at the YMCA.
Oh my god, one wasn't enough.
He started driving them to an airport before turning around and going to Willowbrook Park, and it was like middle of the night, and he just kind of let them out. It's like he panicked and couldn't go through
But
with
he
it.
took him back to his place of work.
Oh no, he went to a park.
Oh, I thought you
Yeah.
like the
Classic.
name of the place.
Rand was given 7 or 10 months in prison for that.
10.
Yeah, for
Nothing.
attempted kidnapping.
Nothing.
Even though there was like 10 kids in the bus.
Jesus.
Time to get tons of kids on the
Later that year, 11-year-old Tyhees Jackson went to the store to buy food and never returned. And this was 12 days after Rand was released from prison.
Of course.
No charges were brought against Rand, of course. In 1984, 22-year-old Hank Gafforio, who had an IQ in the 70s, went missing and was last seen at a diner with Rand.
22 though.
But he
Yeah.
said an IQ of...
Like,
He'd have the IQ of a child.
younger.
And finally, in 1987, Jennifer Schweiger, a 12-year-old girl with Down syndrome, went missing on July 9th. She was also reported to be seen with Rand. The girl's body was found 35 days later in a shallow grave near the Willowbrook State School. Close by, police found a campsite owned by Rand, who was living in various campsites around the woods. Rand was convicted of kidnapping and murdering Jennifer Schweiger and sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. In 2004, just before he was eligible for parole, he was charged for the kidnapping of Holly Ann Hughes and sentenced to another 25 years. He is eligible for parole in 2037, and he'll be 93 years old.
Wow.
So do they consider him to be a serial killer, or they don't have
They
information to...
they only have the evidence that he murdered Jennifer and that he kidnapped
The one.
Holly.
Isn't that a shame?
Yeah.
That happens far too often in
Yeah, but like Jennifer's body was the only one found.
Jennifer's body, you say?
Yeah. The
Man, I thought you were gonna be
State.
like it had a good
Wrong
ending,
episode.
like that one doctor who was practicing for so long that his ghost still roams the halls. He's like,
Oh, I'm
I
not done.
remember. Oh.
oh,
I'm not done.
oh
Yeah. So
Oh gosh.
this is where I fell into a rabbit hole researching this because I found out about a documentary from 2009 called Cropsy.
no! Okay,
I highly recommend watching it
Okay. Can
What's
you
it
send
on?
the
because you
link?
get to see it's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay.
Wait, we never discussed where we're staying at.
what?
In New York.
We never do.
Yes, we do. We're always like, oh, we're in a cabin.
yeah,
we're in the
we're
woods.
camping,
Are we in the
or-
Ritz
People
Hotel?
can hear. I think people can hear by the street sounds that we're in the city.
No.
Are we in Central Park?
We're in the Ritz Hotel.
You found a
Continue.
nice,
Well, ever
rock.
since Brooke was able to, I'm so sorry, Josh, take
I'm
over your
sorry.
podcast legally, I think she was able to afford the Ritz. For
Yeah,
that.
I just
Anything can happen in the Bronx.
find it strange that I never made a penny off of this podcast. She gets it and becomes a millionaire.
That
So-
would be my life as a rich woman, white woman.
So when we're in our Ritz Hotel, well, we're in the hotel room right now. We'll watch it together.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Josh contractually has to leave after every episode.
Yeah, I can't.
Okay.
I mean,
We never
it's
had a-
fine because I don't really like lately. I just don't find myself wanting to be around Brooke anymore. I feel like she's a different person.
We
but-
never had. Wait, this is unethical.
She was different when she got money, but I
We
mean,
never
it's working for
had
me.
a business meeting about this. Y'all never included Alex and I in this business meeting, so we never could.
Don't
Well,
pull a
me-
Trisha Paytas. All right, this comes out of our budget.
Whoa, what does that have to do with Trisha Paytas?
As
You don't
She's
know
a
about
good
frenemies, so
woman.
talk about it. Sorry.
as much as we have, you know, as much as we have this going on between us, I have to say those lip injections are looking really good.
Oh shit!
You,
I didn't want to say anything, babe,
Josh,
but you look great.
Look
How
how,
Wait.
look how high the sound wave.
She
I'm sorry. How can you see it? Because I got my other lips injected.
Oh,
They've been really
Like
nice.
Gorilla Grip.
she.
Really?
I mean,
really nice, I
Brooke
will
looks
say.
like a balloon animal over here.
Just in my pants.
All right, we're gonna move back to.
You gotta go up a size.
Let's go back
Let's
to
move to a
Crosby.
happier topic like Andre Rand.
So yeah, there's a documentary
Yeah,
on.
so in this
Amazon
documentary,
Prime.
you can see Rand, who looks absolutely crazy.
Mm-hmm.
In several scenes, he just has these bug eyes, where they just look like they're bulging out of his head, and he's just drooling.
Oh my god.
So, like, honestly, the perfect maniac to fit the title of Cropsy.
Yeah.
Detectives speculate that Rand was involved in Satanism, and provided kidnapped children to be sacrificed in black masses. There was underneath the abandoned children's hospital, there's a series of tunnels that connects the buildings.
Man, is this The Conjuring?
And after the building shut down, a lot of the staff and some of the former patients began living in those tunnels.
Oh no!
So like you have like and then homeless people started moving in. So you have these homeless people and mentally ill people. When they investigated the tunnels, they found evidence of black masses and pentagrams in some rooms where like they had pews set up in an altar. They found a room with a mattress and there's piles of men's clothes. And in the men's clothes, they found one pair of a little girl's underwear.
Aww.
So they believe that Rand was supplying this underground society with either sacrifices or entertainment.
That's messed up.
That's really messed up.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that not the whole satanic worship and child thing, but they have a problem like that in China where people live in the sewers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
She hasn't even had her cases yet. Or
Yeah.
Never did.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
She never did.
That's disturbing.
Rand denies that he's completely innocent to this day, and he will not talk to anyone.
I bet he does.
Yeah, like the people making the documentary reached out to him, and they were in correspondence with him for a little bit.
Wow.
But he was only willing to talk about anything as long as they were willing to
Say
help
he's innocent.
say he was innocent and get him out, which they did. And then like they were supposed to meet with him in person, and then hours before they went to the prison, he canceled, said he didn't want to meet with them. So yeah, I think he's just a absolute horrible person.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've
But
never.
how crazy is this that, for decades you have this urban legend of this mental patient with a hook hand kidnapping children, bringing them underneath the Seaview Hospital.
Did he have a hook hand?
No, he didn't.
Okay.
But then you get this guy in the 80s taking children and bringing them to underneath a children's hospital.
They say art imitates life and life imitates art.
Yeah. Just imagine you're growing up thinking about kukui,
Yeah.
and then
How Josh looks at
kids in your class start going missing at night. It's like you just go to class and they're like, oh yeah, someone was snatched out of their bed last night.
Knowing me, if I were because I'm assuming elementary years, if I were to go to class and I would see that a lot of my classmates were not showing up, I would be like, oh, okay, that's weird, they're probably sick. But this is cool because we have a smaller class, so it's going to be more intimate.
Exactly.
And then I honestly, and it's happened recently where like, for example, my acting class, we started out with like 12 people. By the time our class ended, at the end of the semester, we were only like 4 or 5 people.
Why
in
would
class.
you drop it? It's easy.
It's I think because a lot of our assignments we had to perform a lot alone on stage. So
In front of everyone?
in front of everyone.
Well,
So
what do you in
people-
theater class if you can't do
I know.
it?
Some people were like, oh, I'm here to help my social anxiety. That's great. And then she never showed up anymore. So I was like, oh gosh. Anyways, for example, like with that,
You know who you are.
I didn't think much of it until class ended.
For
I was
all we
like,
know,
you
your
what?
professor's been
They haven't
picking
showed
one
up.
off, one by one.
It's like Life is Strange,
Yeah.
the first one.
So, yeah,
Second
I think
one
if
was
that
cool.
were to happen when I was younger, I honestly, if I still don't think much about it now, I wasn't going to think about it when I was like 8, 9 years old.
Especially, let alone if you are not completely, like, if there's something that's, like, I mean, if you're a little bit slow or there is some sort of, like, mental handicap, it's not going to make sense at all.
Yeah.
It's like when Barb went missing in Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And like they're just like, oh, she ran away, and
And
it's
then-
like, no, Barb did. They know Barb is dead, but they can't tell the parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that crazy to know that someone's dead, but you can't fess up?
Yeah.
Because how do you fess? If you've watched Stranger Things, you would know. How do you confess something like that?
Yeah.
So.
Do you think that if one of us ever was willing to commit murder, that the other 3 of us, or at least all 4 of us, would be able to keep it a secret?
Yeah. I know I could, but I would never be the same anymore.
There's a lot of things that go into it. Is it
Yeah.
self-defense? Is
Yeah.
it, is it just for that out you want to kill someone? Because
So-
I don't know if I could deal with the guilt.
I mean, apart from, like, say, Alex, you killed someone, you wouldn't be the same,
No.
even as much as you think you would.
I'm sorry.
But if it was
I
like...
was looking up the Square Enix reservation and stuff.
If it was in self-defense, okay, yeah, we can work around that. But if you genuinely just killed someone to kill
Bitches,
someone...
no, because even if it's self-defense, I'll be like, go to the police. You'll be fine.
I was like, bro, they're gonna find you. I've seen enough ID.
Listen, the only reason why I'm asking is because I need to make a call after this podcast episode, and I just need to know if you guys are all on the same page.
Boo,
Fuck.
you know me. Ride or die,
Ride or
Bonnie and
die.
Clyde.
Bud?
I have my whole life.
Bud?
Bitch, I do too.
We've been
but
through a lot.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah.
You've been through a lot.
Yep.
It's been 10, 11 years.
Josh,
Yeah.
we do the same for you.
But you wouldn't go to the same jail, Josh. You'd never see her again.
No, he
Okay,
wouldn't go to
hold
jail
on.
regardless.
We wouldn't
But
be...
if he did,
But he wouldn't.
there's always a chance.
You know,
He
we
would
can always
not.
move out of the country because they can't get us there. You
Oh,
have...
that's true. We could
She
be on the
would
run
be
for the
like
rest of our
Roman
lives.
Polanski.
They can't... Yeah, exactly.
We can move anywhere in Europe, move our accounts over.
Because they can only arrest us if we ever put
Yeah,
foot
you could
back
be
in the
like
States.
him and get your Oscars and Golden Globes and still submit all your movies and be like, yeah, I'm a loved director and
Roman
I
Polanski.
raped a 14-year-old child.
But I've murdered someone in the States.
Except the thing is, Josh would never rape anyone. He's just helping me cover up a murder.
Okay, I don't think we'd ever... Okay, guys, cut this out. We'd never rape anyone.
No.
no, but Roman
That's
Polanski
not
did.
consent.
I'm just saying.
He did.
We'll just say
Factual.
yes for now.
I feel like 2 out of the 3 here would cover me if I committed murder.
That's a really big question, and I have jury duty on Monday. And I can't deal with this right now.
I was
Alright.
like, okay, next.
I go to
Alright.
jury duty and be like, my girlfriend told me she would kill someone.
Girl, we're gonna be looking at you at the juror
I'm
side.
gonna be
We're gonna be like, we
What
don't
you
know
say?
her.
Yeah.
Your honor.
Alright, so we're gonna head out of Staten Island.
That was really fucked up.
We're gonna...
I ain't gonna lie, that
It
was.
was.
I think that's one of the, if not the
My
only.
true life is
fucked
scarier
up
than
story
fiction
you've started with.
sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I liked it though, but it's fucked up.
I know. Alright, so we're gonna leave Staten Island behind.
Bye, Staten
We're
Island.
heading across the Verrazano Narrows Bridge into Brooklyn, and then take the tunnel to Manhattan,
Hey,
where
right.
we'll come up to our next story.
Josh is looking at me like,
Oh, hell
she's
yeah.
one, that's you.
Oh, that's your
Go.
cue? Okay.
I have 2 stories.
Alright.
Okay.
Hit
This
me.
Washington Heights,
They should...
not sponsored, coming out in theaters soon.
They shouldn't be long, but they are interesting.
Remastered collection. Is it 1 and 2?
Yeah.
Oh,
Before the Storm.
The second one, the Before the Storm, or
Before the
prequel.
Storm and Life is Strange 1.
Okay.
Oh, but not the second
Not the
one with
second
those 2 brothers.
Before the Storm's great.
Alright, you guys ready for this? My first story, one of 2, is called The Spring Street Ghost. Now remember this street, Spring Street. That's going to be important.
Bruce Springsteen.
Got it. Spring Street, Springsteen, same thing. So, deep in the heart of New York is one of the hippest neighborhoods, Soho.
Yeah.
Where you have, fine dining, high-end fashion stores, a lot of celebrities live there.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. But located at 129 Spring Street is this store called COS, C-O-S. I'm saying COS. And inside this store's basement is a brick well.
A brick well?
A brick well.
Okay,
Like
a
literally.
well, water
a
well.
Okay.
A well.
Oh, you know what? I almost
Did you see this?
Yeah, I did see this. I almost covered it.
Wait, you actually saw this? I thought it was
no,
like
I didn't
so
see
hidden.
it in person.
Well, no, but you
but I-
actually...
He read
I came
about
across
it.
it. in my
Okay,
research.
well, I chose this story because it was in a fashion store. So I just thought, oh,
Gravitated.
it's an ode to me.
What's that one
Fashion.
store we went to in London?
Harrods.
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 It's like Harrods.
Okay, so a little history. This well has been around since the 1700s, and while it is not in use today, it serves as a fashion display. But it was the site for a tragic death. Oh, gosh.
God, is this where the
The
girl
Grudge.
from The Ring died?
Or the green.
The Ring?
The green.
The Ring goes.
The Rudge.
Okay. So on December 22nd, 1799, 21-year-old Gulielma, I think that's how you say her name, Gulielma Elmore Sands, snuck out of her Greenwich Street home and went off to meet her secret sweetheart, Levi Weeks, unaware of the fate that was awaiting her. On January 2nd, 1800, her body was discovered inside the now infamous Spring Street well.
Oh, shit.
Her body was found with strangulation marks on her neck, a detail that led her to become the first in the long history of tabloid crimes in the city. Levi Weeks, the boyfriend or lover, was suspected of killing her and was arrested and charged with homicide. The case fascinated the community, and rumors began to circulate that he impregnated her. Her family, this is what was messed up, her family put her corpse outside of their house for, display.
Ow.
And this only fanned the flames of the fury against Levi.
Fury.
But I was like, why would you put your daughter's corpse outside of your home?
Really, though?
Was that a thing
Hey,
they did all the time?
That's a
or-
free Halloween decoration.
You know what? They win Yard of the Month for October.
Damn.
Anyways,
And
however...
he's just crying while accepting it. Thank
Like,
you. It's
yeah.
really hard.
petunias look great, don't they? Anyways, Levi, his wealthy and affluent uncle, helped Levi have the best legal representation. He ended up securing one of the city's and country's best teams, Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr.
No.
Oh my God, Hamilton!
Alexander
Right.
Hamilton was on his team.
That's
Wow.
weird.
And he went on to create the Levi Strauss jeans. Great.
Great.
This different last name.
Yeah.
They eventually claimed their whole thing was that Gulielma was suicidal, and the jury found Levi innocent and let him walk free.
God damn it, Alexander Hamilton and Mr. Burr, sir.
Yes. Aaron Burr. While the jury found him innocent, the court of public opinion forced him to flee town and settle in Mississippi. But as Levi moved on in life, Gulielma's spirit remained, and it is said that she began haunting the area in search of the justice owed to her. As the years passed, the well became surrounded by transformation as Manhattan grew. Structures were built on top of the well and became a site for various businesses, including a tobacco shop, a carpenter shop, and a restaurant. But every single occupant that I guess was built above the well, they always made sure to keep the well outside of public eye. But eventually the well was buried in sand, dirt, and concrete, but no matter how much was changed, what endured was the presence of a paranormal being. It was reported in a magazine in 1895 that young men and maidens who pass the spot late at night testify they can hear her scream as she vainly implores her lover for her life. And this magazine also gave her the name the Spring Street Ghost.
Bruce Spring.
Yes. In the 1950s, the building on top of the well became a popular restaurant called Manhattan Bistro. Rumors have always circulated that there was a ghost roaming the restaurant, but it wasn't until the 1980s that the owners decided to investigate. They went through the dirt and sand and discovered the well buried. Throughout the restaurant's time on Spring Street, employees claimed that they had seen items fly off tables and crash into walls. Bottles would reportedly fall off shelves, and lights would turn on and off by themselves. Down in the basement, where the well is, workers reported seeing mist, as well as an apparition of a young woman, either wearing a long white dress or covered in seaweed, as if she emerged from water.
Damn.
It's sad.
That's...
Eventually, the restaurant closed in 2014, and COS, the fashion store, opened in December of that same year, proudly showcasing the well as part of the store's aesthetic. Matt Anderson, who is head of the men's designs for COS, jokingly said, "The Spring Street Ghost. We have a ghost, our own COS ghost. We imagine it being dressed in all white. A modern, minimalist ghost."
Oh, geez.
Get out of here, so
I know. I just thought
She's so chic.
As she gets her boba tea and puts on her Prada sunglasses.
this
Leave
poor
the poor-
$17.99.
Yeah, leave the poor 18th century ghost alone. Don't include her in
She's
your
more
style.
21 and $17.99. And then later, how many decades is that in 2014?
A lot.
And they're saying, oh yeah, she's minimalist.
Yeah, well. They
And-
were back then.
Yeah, and in 2017, the New York City Department of Records and Information Services conceded that 129 Spring Street was in fact haunted. And that's the well.
Wow, I didn't know this was a Vegas.
And there's
oh, wow.
there's the clothing.
Wow, that's a huge well.
Actually, that kind of is kind of it's kind
Oh,
of cool
I didn't see
looking.
that picture. I saw it back when it was the restaurant. I didn't
Oh,
know
really?
I didn't know about the fashion store.
This is what it actually looks like.
It's
now
kind of
with
cool
the-
looking, actually.
So yeah, so I thought that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
They like cleaned it up because I think I only saw it when it was like that much uncovered. So they like really.
Wow.
For
Well,
those
I'm going well,
for those interested, just look it up.
Oh, it's so chic.
It's COS, COS. I think it stands for contemporary style. I think. So anyway, so my last,
That's pretty cool.
my second story. I don't know if you saw this one, but it's called Mickey the Sailor.
This is the picture I saw.
Mickey the Sailor.
Oh, see, I didn't see that.
Yeah, this is before. the
But to
fashion
think
store.
that was all buried eventually. I mean, before
Yeah.
it was discovered, like it was all buried in concrete and all that stuff as Manhattan grew.
It's kind of a cool looking well, though, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
COS, H&M's sister brand.
Yeah.
Ah! I didn't know that.
But I'm sure it's like kind of
If you're a
up
fan
there
of
price.
Swedish minimalist fashion,
I'm sure if they
Ooh.
sold a shirt like this, they'd probably be selling it for like $3.50.
Well, you know what? The Scandinavians have good style. If
I love-
it's Swedish.
I love this. Check out COS if you're a fan of Swedish minimalist fashions or allegedly haunted 18th century wells.
I get my clothes at IKEA.
I got-
IKEA sells
and you are
clothes?
sporting you are
Swedish
sporting the
minimalistic.
cutest fanny pack from the Gap.
Where does IKEA actually, like, where was its birthplace?
Sweden. It's Swedish. And
IKEA?
They don't sell clothes.
It-
Yes, they're Swedish.
They don't sell
It
clothes.
rose out of the ocean. Alex.
Yeah, like
It was
Atlantis,
shipped.
but
Yeah.
it's IKEA.
I just want to know, like, who came up
It's
with
Swedish.
it.
It's Swedish. That's why they sell Swedish meatballs.
I've never, honestly, I've only
I've
been
never
to
had
IKEA
their
like
food,
twice.
but I heard it's pretty good.
I've heard that.
I heard their meatballs are good at IKEA, but it's been years since I don't remember them.
There's that huge one over,
Near for like West Plano. I know.
yeah.
They're building an HEB now.
I heard.
Yeah.
You know what? I want to go to IKEA though before I move into my little apartment.
IKEA has some cute things.
It's
honestly.
cheap.
Yeah.
A lot of it's cheap, but some of it's pretty good.
You guys seen the? I think it's called. It's a media center that you can get at IKEA, and it's nicknamed the Divorce Maker
Why?
because it's so complicated that
Oh, to put it together?
It's just like so
Oh,
frustrating
man.
that it's jokingly ended relationships.
I'm gonna send a selfie to
I believe that. I mean,
I tell you, some of those pre-drilled holes are not pre-drilled.
yeah,
here,
there's
properly.
there's some things that Brooke and I have purchased for our house that we
Put together.
have tried to put together, and it would go swimmingly. It would go fine.
The last piece doesn't fit because the holes are messed up.
You're like 95% done, and it's that last 5% where the hole does not match everything else, and
Yeah.
it is infuriating.
And then you break down and start crying and screaming, and then a bunch of girls come in and join you in screaming and getting on the floor.
Maybe
It's
some.
not right.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all
So
ready?
yeah, the
Y'all
second
ready for
story.
that?
Let's do it.
So this next story takes place on the same street, Spring Street.
Ah, Bruce Springsteen.
So I'm confused because I know
You know, Manhattan, the city, they have like different, you you got Greenwich, Upper East Side, Upper West Side,
Yeah.
Soho, whatever.
like,
Soho.
A street and then another street.
This is a street in Soho.
a lot of 4 blocks. Yeah.
But this is all on one street.
Oh yeah. No, I got you. I was just curious because I was gonna ask. I know you said before all this that there was a story.
This is the story.
Okay,
cool. Calm down.
Yeah, all right.
So
all right.
It's a
I'm excited.
soft rain.
Soho means south of Houston Street, by the way.
So before I was doing my research, and I told Alex there's a story that I will dedicate to you, and this is the story.
I'm excited.
This one is called Mickey the Sailor.
Did you see this?
Well, we're out of time.
I'm
No,
sorry,
no,
but you can't hear
I
this.
haven't seen Mickey the Sailor.
You haven't seen Mickey the Sailor?
I'm excited.
You might kind of like this. I don't know yet.
I'm excited.
But this
Well,
is
it's not
called.
dedicated to me, so.
But I think this is. I guess part of it can be to you, but you'll see why I dedicate this to
Some
her.
of that
Josh, I don't
dedication.
think I'm gonna let any of this dedication go to you. Sorry about that.
It's okay. Brooke's taking everything from me already.
Yes.
So this is called Mickey the Sailor.
All right, cool.
Does this have to do with Steamboat Mickey
No.
from Disney?
No. So there is a little bar / restaurant in Soho called the Ear Inn, like your ear, the Ear Inn,
Okay.
also known as the Green Door. But it began as the James Brown House in 1817, who the first owner was James Brown. He was an African-American ex-slave who actually fought in the Revolutionary War.
That's cool.
Or army. And legend has it that he was an aide to George Washington himself, and it is even said that he appears on his side in the famous painting Washington Crossing the Delaware. So,
I'm gonna have to look that up.
yeah. So James Brown got this little townhouse, and he sought to retire it in the townhouse, and he reportedly became a tobacco farmer. After his death, the James Brown house began to transform into a waterfront drinking establishment, having homebrewed beer and whiskey for sailors coming from the then nearby Hudson River.
Oh, I want a venti cold brew, please, with some Jameson.
I want a caramelizer, please.
Can I get some Jameson with cold foam?
Please.
Yummy. The sailors were also fed for free as long as they bought drinks, and this made the bar a very appealing location.
I was gonna say,
Can you imagine? You know what? As long as you buy drinks, you get fed for free.
Hell yeah.
I always wanted to open a gas station, but I've been like, you know, you want a 10-cent discount on gas, but you have to spend $20 in the store on, like,
Snacks. $20 on snacks, though? That's kind of high, though.
that's really, I mean, if you're, like, a family of 3, it's really...
True.
Get, like, a sandwich and 2 drinks, and it's like $20.
Maybe.
10 cents off gas.
Maybe the sandwich would be like $7, but wouldn't the drinks be like $1 or $2?
I think
So you have to get candy afterwards?
Yeah.
One day you're gonna open up your own shop and...
I know. I'm ready for it.
Okay, anyways. So yeah, so the sailors would get fed for free as long as they bought drinks.
I really think I might be an alcoholic because
Well,
that sounds appealing to
You'll
me.
see why
Okay.
I dedicate
Oh.
this to you.
Okay.
By the next century, the establishment became a restaurant and acted as a speakeasy during Prohibition. In that same building, the upstairs acted as a smuggler's den, a brothel, doctor's office, and a boarding house.
You never have to leave.
them.
Live in
I was
the boarding
gonna
house.
Good for them.
You ima-
Call up a prostitute to your room.
But it's
Get the doctor.
Can you imagine though? Yeah,
The
imagine
doctor
you're
and yeah, I'm working both shifts now. Need to make
Ima-
a little extra money.
you're a woman of the night, and then you go get your checkup at the doctor next
Hey,
door.
that's completely fine.
Anyway, so that was all happening upstairs. But after Prohibition, the still unnamed bar, it was very unnamed, was becoming
Very.
even more popular due to word of mouth and its lawless reputation, attracting sailors from all over. It was dubbed as the Green Door for its green door. But it wasn't until the late 1970s that it became the Ear Inn. It was named in homage to the name of their music magazine Ear, which was also produced upstairs in the same building.
Wow.
So they were also publishing
that
magazines.
upstairs has seen a lot.
So I think it could have been fun,
Yeah.
you know, being in that time.
We could have made a band.
Let me not show you the little... Okay, so now we're going to get into Mickey. So the spirits that haunt the place are said to be sailors who never left, victims of the river's relentless tide, people who have lost themselves to a bottle of whiskey or 20,
Yeah, 20. I like that.
women of the night, and most popular, Mickey.
Mickey
Mouse.
Mickey Mouse. Mickey was a regular at the bar when he wasn't at sea. He spent most of his time and money at this bar and would even plead with the bar staff to keep the place open after closing hours. There's no clear answer on how Mickey made it into the inn and how he died, but there are 2 theories. One theory is that Mickey, after a long trip on sea, craved alcohol. After disembarking on his ship, he walked into the bar, desperate for hard liquor. He got what he wanted and drank until it poisoned him. It is believed that he died on that very place he sat on, and his spirit has been an ongoing patron since. The
That's
other,
possible.
yeah.
Always adding to his tab, never
Yeah,
taking.
he didn't say liquor. He wanted to lick her.
Oh,
well, hold on.
Busy.
There you go.
That also can be part of it. The other theory is that Mickey was not away at sea, but instead at his home away from home, the Ear Inn. In 1920, he had a normal night of heavy drinking and then went home. It is said that as he walked home, he was run over by a car while crossing the street and died from his injuries. People say that it is possible he haunts the Ear Inn because it was his last known safe place. Even after death, Mickey's love for the Ear Inn is strong as ever. It is said he will haunt the place, and instead of driving visitors away with fear, he's actually very lustful in his hauntings.
Oh.
He'll prod out waitresses and will make them shriek from his literally cold advances. Guests who have stayed
Mickey.
upstairs will often feel cold air into the bed with them. And some have even reported that he'll take a sip of your drink if you're not looking. So some people will take a sip, look away, and then when they look back at their drink, it's like,
I believe it.
it's less.
Yeah.
But for years, the ownership has remained firm that no, their employees are not tricking them. It's just Mickey being Mickey. The Ear Inn, located at 326 Spring Street, is a historical landmark for New York, and you can still go there and grab yourself a drink. And that's Mickey the Sailor.
I like that story.
That's Mickey the Sailor. I couldn't find an actual picture of Mickey the Sailor, so I found a picture of Mickey Mouse in a sailor outfit.
Yeah.
He's the one who haunts.
This episode of
And that's
Tales
the
Less
Ear Inn.
Traveled.
So it's
You know
green.
what? I would love to check out that.
It literally
that
says
bar.
Ear. Actually, it is said that some original owners of the bar, it said bar, but they rearranged the letters to where it just says ear. So that way, the New York, I don't know,
Police.
whatever, like who's in charge of making, like confirming changes to your establishment. That way they didn't have to come and be like, yeah, okay, you can do this. So they just changed it themselves.
Makes it easy.
But I dedicated this to Alex because I thought of NBC.
Oh, well,
I just thought, you know, you go there a lot. And I think it's funny that Mickey the Sailor haunts the place that he loved the most. His little bar area.
Well,
I understand that.
You know.
this episode of Sesame Street is brought to you by the letter A for assault.
Yeah, if I didn't give my consent for a man in person, I'm not going to give my consent for a ghost man in the afterlife.
Well, I gotta.
Oh, you were asking for it.
Oh,
was what I
gosh.
was
You were
wearing.
dressed like that. Oh, and because two of those stories took place on the same street, I think New York also said, yeah, Spring Street, the street of hauntings or something.
I didn't know Bruce Springsteen was really like...
Spring-
Well, thank you,
Spring.
Boo. I appreciate that. There is a bar that I love to frequent. I have taken all of us
You've
there.
taken all your lovers.
I've taken all of my lovers, my loved ones there. Anyone who potentially might love
We
some
know the
alcohol.
bartenders there.
We do.
Got their numbers.
I make it a point that if someone who's new arrives, well, then they just have to.
And
they
she
have
goes,
to get to know me.
"Hi, I'm Alexandra. I've been coming here since we opened."
I know the owner.
Brian,
You and that doctor that always goes there too. You
There's
guys-
a rival of mine.
You know what? But you
He
two,
doesn't even know.
you two might end up being best friends in case like there's new bartenders. The two of you will be like, "Hey, we've been coming here since forever. We gotta let them
I'm gonna
know."
be replaced.
I think the problem with this other doctor, he's a newer regular, I guess. He goes quite often, talks to everyone there at the bar. I would joke with Josh and say like, oh, who is this guy? Like he
You know
just comes
what?
in thinking that he owns this place.
And the other day we went to go meet Josh for a little lunch, and he was there sitting next to Josh. And I told Alex and Brooke, and Josh too, that as soon as I walked up to go hug Josh and greet him, that doctor was like looking not only at me up and down, but he was looking at you and Brooke.
He's a ladies' man, for sure. I mean, there's no other reason that he'd go there outside. He always orders some sort of beer, and he always has a shot.
Well,
shot
I
with
did.
beer.
I did tell him I was going to NBC with my two wives to meet a potential third wife.
Oh my god.
Oh, that would make sense.
So
that would
it's
make sense.
in my third wife, maybe.
I think everyone should
No.
have.
Brooke is a third wife.
Why am I the third?
Because we've known Josh longer,
So you're newer.
But I'm the
technically.
eldest. I should be
That's
the
what I'm
elder
thinking.
wife.
It would be better if I was the third wife, but I don't know.
No, I'm the elder wife.
Are they your
I don't
two
think
wives?
Josh wants to be in a marriage at all.
Brooke, elder
so.
wife, give us some.
I give good advice.
Top me off.
And then I'm like, you know.
I think everyone, it doesn't have to be a bar, but I think everyone in their life should have that one place, be it a bar, be it a restaurant, be it a cafe, be it a coffee shop, be it a freaking library. Doesn't matter.
You think it's that one show, and when you walk in, and everyone's like, Alex! And they all
It
laugh.
is like that, though.
I think everyone should have their one place that they can go to where they feel comfortable.
Cheers.
They feel, cheers. Cheers, the
everybody.
Friends
Well, you
coffee
know-
shop.
There is an establishment, but I haven't gone there as much as you go to your bar, but there's a coffee shop that I discovered myself.
Girl, if you go there once a year, it doesn't count.
That's what I'm saying. I haven't gone there as much as Alex has gone to her bar, so maybe I should start going to this cafe.
Well, that cafe is nice because it is it's literally a mixture of
It's
a
a
cafe
bar
and a bar. Yeah.
There's a bar in the center, but it's not the same vibe as a bar, though.
No, but I mean, it's nice.
You can still.
I like the vibes of it.
You can still order alcoholic drinks, but it is a very cozy vibe there, and I always order myself hot chocolate and a bagel.
That's why I'm saying it doesn't have to be a bar for those of you who don't drink or don't care for it. Like, everyone should have their own space they can go to and relax.
Yeah.
Email us if you want to know these locations, and we'll give them to you.
Do you know what I used to do with hot chocolate and a bagel when I was younger?
I have an idea, but go ahead.
I told you this before. I would dunk my buttered bagel into my hot chocolate and then eat it.
It's kind of like cookie milk.
Yeah.
I haven't had cookie milk in a while.
I like those stories, Boo.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
That was quite good.
Thank you. Do you like my Mickey the Sailor?
I did. I like
That's Mickey the Sailor.
Okay, so we're back from another break.
It's been a fun one.
Yeah.
I think
A lot of child stuff, you know.
Josh really made amazing drinks.
Yeah, alright.
You've only
so,
had sweet tea.
Okay, but how you make the sweet tea really varies.
Okay. So we're gonna head 4 miles up 6th Avenue to get to our next distinct location, right across the street from Central Park. A Gothic-looking apartment building known as the Dakota.
Oh, I saw this.
This is a famous apartment building in New York, and it is the apartment building from Rosemary's Baby.
Oh.
Yeah. Have you
Interesting.
seen Rosemary's Baby? You know about it?
Can't say that I have.
It's about a woman who dreams that she was raped by the
The devil.
devil, and then she has a baby.
Oh,
And the baby's the devil.
the devil's kid, baby.
Yeah.
Damn.
But yeah, the apartment is the Dakota. So this building was built in the early 1880s in the sparsely inhabited section of Manhattan at the time. While the outside was Gothic, the inside rooms were designed in a French style of the time. One of the earliest spirits seen in the building was a little blonde girl who appeared to workmen in the early 1900s. She wears white stockings with a yellow dress and has been seen bouncing a ball before disappearing.
Okay.
And has still been seen by residents today.
Wow.
Another man wearing a wig has been seen and is thought to be the developer of the Dakota, Edward Cabot Clark.
Specifically a wig.
Yeah. I imagine it's like one of those big fluffy white ones.
Yeah. The wig party. Exactly.
He died shortly after the Dakota was built. He is an angry ghost, and while he doesn't actually act violently, he has been seen glaring meanly at people, taking his wig off and shaking it at witnesses. Another spirit who started being seen in the 60s is a ghost that has the body of a man and the face of a little boy. It does nothing but stare at people, and then he appears before.
Wow, that sounds like Abby.
I just thought of like the mod for Resident Evil Village that just puts the baby head on Chris's body.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Brooke. I think of Abby and then the little boy in Colorado.
Our little local stories.
You know, at my birthday dinner, my sister, who was sitting on the other side of the table from me, said she looked up at me at one point and she said she saw a little girl looking like she was peeking around my shoulder like that. And I was like,
You know what?
Oh,
no.
man.
Are you serious?
That's what she said.
You know what? Okay, here's the thing about that.
Josh, what the hell?
You're bringing in spirits.
Hold on, but here's the thing. If Josh does have, say,
Listen,
Abby
if there-
attached to him, Abby likes us. Because
if
she hasn't done
if
anything.
Abby is attached to me, here's this home. You can roam this home all you want.
No.
Yeah, don't
There's a
attach
whole-
yourself to me to go to Chance.
There's a whole upstairs for you.
What exactly is your address?
Josh, at like 2:30 in the morning for the last couple nights.
This was before we reached New York, correct?
Yes, Alex and I have been hearing outside of our bedroom window this crying sound.
No way. Are you
Yeah.
serious?
Yeah.
Legitimately.
And it's not
Like 3,
does
4 in the
not sound
morning.
like an animal like that I know of, but it's like
No, first time I heard it and she
I
was
didn't hear
asleep.
it.
Did I tell you what happened when I got back from Hawaii in my
No.
room?
No. Oh, but the light switch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My light switch is a dial.
Yeah.
And it's behind my bookshelf. And I never touch it. It's always on, so I just turn on the light from the fan. And when I got back from my trip, I went into my room, my light wouldn't turn on, and I had to move the bookshelf, and the dial was turned all the way off.
No shit.
Yeah.
You didn't see
The
anything weird?
only person in my house was you. Well,
I know, that's why I'm like, I'm trying not to smile because it wasn't me, but like, I know the first thought would be, geez, won't you do anything? But no.
How would you even know there was a dial behind his bookshelf if you have to move it anyways?
Exactly. So
I didn't even know you had a dial
no,
behind
your door has always been closed. The only thing was, and I don't know if it was like your cats, but apart from your dog, I don't know, Scout, she like automatically sensed me. So like I didn't have to work hard to get her attention, but
Did you probably heard the beeping from the door?
I don't know because if she's
Because she can like hear high pitched noises, something, and maybe like because when you put in the code in the door, it like beeps. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering if she could hear that.
But the only thing was like I don't know if it was your cats, but I know you guys had where the litter box is. There was like a thing on the door to not have it opened all the way. So I don't know if it was like a way for your cats to like just slip in through.
Yeah, so if the dogs get out, they don't go in the.
But it was like open entirely. One of the days that I went there, and I was
And
like,
you always put the hook on there?
I always like I open up the hook so I can go in
No.
more freely, but and then I close it back in.
Yeah.
But there was one time where I went in and it was just open entirely, and I was like, I don't know if the cats would have done that
No,
because
they couldn't have done
that's
that.
very hard to do.
Josh, I think your house is definitely haunted.
And then there was one time, and I think my phone must have just dropped on itself, but there was one time that I put my phone on top of, like where Scout usually lays on. You guys had like that round table. I put my phone on top of the table, and I genuinely thought it was fine, secure, flat on the table, but the next thing I don't remember hearing it, but the next thing I knew was it was on the floor. So I don't know.
Wow.
Cool.
Well, Josh, thanks.
Little personal. Don't worry.
Hey, but I
Guys have a ghost of
actually,
your own.
yeah.
Thanks.
I liked going to your house though, anyways. So anytime.
Whatever ghost is attached to you, if there is one, she seems
Sweet.
amicable.
I always
sweet
say
girl.
this. You know, you always say you see something, your family members see or send something. And we've gone to your house. I never feel any negativity from your house at all. So it's gonna be
Yeah,
good.
I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
very interesting.
So about this guy with his wig that he shakes at people.
Palm tree.
So, before we move on to the most famous specter of this hotel, let it be known that this has been the home to several famous celebrities over the years, including John Madden, Boris Karloff, Rosie O'Donnell, John Lennon.
Oh shit!
And John Lennon, while he was living here, claimed
Or
to
got
have
shot,
seen
right?
a UFO outside his window.
Oh man,
Um,
John.
Bro.
The alien landed right
Was it
outside his
Yoko?
window. The alien came off the ship, and that is how he met Yoko.
Oh, okay.
True story.
No, but he did. He did say he saw a UFO outside of his window. And another ghost that he claimed to have seen in his apartment was what he referred to as the crying lady ghost. Outside this hotel on December 8th, 1980 is where John Lennon was gunned down by Mark David Chapman. John Lennon is said to appear with a strange glow around him to various people. They've even seen him, Yoko Ono, while living in the apartment that they shared, had said that one night she saw his ghost sitting at the piano in their apartment, and when he looked at her, he said, "Don't be afraid, I'm still with you," and then disappeared.
Damn.
Yeah, so that is the Dakota.
I saw that when doing research, like the Dakota apartment, so I was like, oh, no. But, she liked her well better. Yeah. And the bar.
Is the specter by the name of it's a specter by the name of Shepherd?
Shepherd.
Yes.
Mass
and
Bet.
is that their favorite store in the Citadel?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm Commander Shepherd, and this is my favorite apartment in Manhattan.
There you go.
It's Mass Bet.
Mass Bet.
Is this on sale? I didn't see.
This one is not on sale.
With their pants on?
Yes.
Their prices are spooky.
Truthfully, yes, but I think this one was $40.
Yeah.
Guys, we're live. Guys.
Alright, sorry. Listen, I'm really excited about this new Nike shirt I got.
I like it.
It's not normally my style.
It's a Jordan.
It's not normally my style, but I really enjoy it. It feels very comfortable.
I
Look,
like
I
it.
got like a tag just like, come on,
If
we're
you
leaving.
tear this off, then that's the whole shirt. That's it. The whole shirt has
goodies
lost its
are
value.
shaking.
No, I like it because like I've been looking for some
Do you-
good workout shirts.
Okay, do you remember in high school the dress shirts that the guys had to wear would have this loop right here on the back?
Yeah.
They still do.
I don't know what was going on. I don't know what was going on with some of the jockey assholes at the time, but I think they were collecting those, like seeing who can get the most. And I just remember in physics,
Oh, like rip them as hard as they can.
yeah, the guy behind me just like looped his finger and he just like put his hand on my shoulder and just went, ripped it off.
I think it's.
And he just like, thanks, bro.
I
And
think
was
it's part of the tie though. Like I think doesn't your tie go through the loop?
No.
No, it
No?
doesn't go in the bag.
So yeah, I don't know what the loop is for then.
Yeah, I just remember being like, asshole.
You effing asshole.
I really
high
wish I
school.
had the.
Cojones.
I can't believe I went
I would
through
definitely
that.
do that. Like today, I would have been like, I would have turned around and been like, "What the fuck, asshole!" But back then, I was like, "Ugh." Put my head down.
I just really, really enjoyed the food at high school.
I did too
Oh,
until my
man.
because you.
I'm surprised I didn't gain weight when in high school, but I guess I was doing a lot of other stuff.
You're
Yeah, I
always
didn't
walking
gain
in
weight.
that school because you literally have to walk from. At least in your later years, like junior, senior, you have to walk from one side of the building to the other side of the building in 5 minutes. But
I also
you're
thought,
talking to people. Maybe you're going to the bathroom.
I also
and then
thought joining
rush.
softball my senior year was a good idea too.
But at least you did sports. I never did. I did the arts.
Hey,
I went to public school.
it was
Same thing,
Yeah,
yeah,
same
babe.
thing.
I like to make it known that there's a difference.
Brooke graduated literally like a semester early.
Brooke
in high
was
school.
valedictorian.
I was not.
Yeah.
Brooke was valedictorian.
But she did graduate early.
I did
You
graduate
did,
early.
but you know why?
Because she was
you're smart.
valedictorian.
She's
No.
smart.
She gave a speech at graduation.
Thank you.
She's
A lot
smart,
of
baby.
people teared up. All right, so
Last stop.
yeah, so next we'll be heading an hour east. We're going through the Bronx,
West.
through Queens,
Bronx.
and finally we'll get into Long Island.
Iced teas.
Yeah,
Hey!
Four
Four drinks later.
where we'll find our next location in this small village of Amityville.
No.
I got disrupt again because
so this iconic house was the site of a hellish tragedy in 1974. At the time, Ronald
Reagan.
and Louise
Oh.
DeFeo lived at the house with their children, 18-year-old Dawn, 13-year-old Allison, 12-year-old Mark, and 9-year-old John Matthew. The DeFeos had one more child, a 23-year-old Ronald DeFeo Jr. Ronnie had issues with his dominating father, and as a young adult, began to turn to drugs and alcohol to cope. He hardly showed up at his job and spent most of the time in a nearby bar with friends. And on the morning of November 13th, 1974, at 6:30 a.m., Ronnie ran into the bar yelling, "You gotta help me. I think my mother and father are shot."
Oh, God.
Going back to the house, people came across an absolutely grisly scene. All the DeFeos had been shot dead in their sleep. 3 hours earlier at 3:15 a.m., Ronnie entered the house with a rifle, and one by one he shot his family dead in their sleep.
Oh, no. I have heard of this. It's been a long time.
Strangely enough, none of the family showed signs of struggle, as each one had been lying on their stomachs. Toxicology reports found that no kind of drug was in their system either, so they weren't really sure why they were all sleeping so heavily. You'd think that after the first killing, after the first gunshot, they'd all wake up, but none of them woke up.
Wasn't this based off a Conjuring movie? Or like a Conjuring movie was based off?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Okay.
the neighbors didn't even hear gunshots that night. DeFeo claimed many different stories of what happened that night, but no two were the same. His lawyer claimed a defense of insanity, as he had heard voices telling him to kill his family. He was found guilty, given 6 life sentences, and would die in March of 2021 at the age of 69.
Oh, wow. Okay.
His cause of death is still undetermined. So a year later after the killings, George and Kathleen Lutz would purchase the house and move in with their 3 children, and shortly after they began to experience disturbances. George claimed to be woken up every night at 3:15 a.m. Meanwhile, their young daughter Missy began to talk to an imaginary friend she named Jody. I'm not going to go into any further details because it is like highly covered in the novel by Jay Anson, The Amityville Horror, and also covered in the 1979 Amityville Horror starring James Brolin, and the 2005 remake starring Ryan Reynolds.
Good figure.
And both of them are great movies. They do embellish some facts, but I feel like it would be a much better way to tell the stories if you were to watch or read that. And I just don't want to ruin it. Anyway, the family ended up moving out of the house 28 days after they purchased it and left all their possessions behind. The eldest son, Danny, would go on to say that the family was possessed by an evil entity and it strained their relationship. George and Kathleen Lutz would divorce in 1980. So that would be like 5 years after they moved out. Subsequent owners of the house haven't experienced anything supernatural, and while many suspect the Lutz family lied about the haunting, both George and Kathleen each took a polygraph test, and both of them passed. After they ran away in the middle of the night, Ed and Lorraine Warren would investigate the house. Lorraine would say, "The very first night that Ed and I went into that home, I was fearful, but I didn't know what I was fearful of. As I was going up the stairs, I reached the point where it felt as if a force of water was coming against my chest, almost like a waterfall. It was the worst feeling. I stopped on the landing and held tight the relic that was in my hand and asked for strength and direction in going forward. It felt ominous to me." So this whole thing will be covered in The Conjuring 2 at the start of the movie. Lorraine Warren would never speak about what happened to them during the investigation, but all she would say was, "Amityville was horrible, honey. It was absolutely horrible. It followed us right straight across the country. I don't even like to talk about it. I will never go to Amityville House ever again. You don't know how long my career is. That's the only one."
Wow. I remember there was something that
Yeah, in the movie, that's like
It
where
was-
she sees the demon Valak and it follows them home, and
she can't, she does. I remember Ed Warren be like, she doesn't want to talk about it. Like, she won't talk about it even with me sometimes.
yeah. So I don't think she ever talked about what happened to her in that house, but it was something traumatizing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my last story.
Oh, wow.
I did want to mention, because I was going to talk about these, but I kind of wrote a lot about these other stories. So, just honorable mentions is the Rolling Hills Asylum in East Bethany, New York, Upper New York, which used to be like a poor house type place, which I think has like estimated 1,700 people died there. And it was just like poor people living alongside mentally ill people. So And then the other one is the Hinsdale House, south of Buffalo, which is apparently incredibly haunted. It's supposedly built on a Native American burial site where there's there's up to 1,000 bodies. And then in the 1800s, the people that owned the house set it up as a like a wagon stop. But what they do is the wagons would stop. They would kill the people in the carriages and then just take all their belongings and then bury the people in the cellar.
Jesus.
So maybe we'll cover that on a future episode. But I just wanted to. I didn't want to just only have the city because we only had city.
I know.
I missed out on all of
the city that never sleeps.
They're good stories, and I did not want to skip over them.
But not for the dead.
I wonder if this Amityville Horror House in some way inspired Ryan Murphy to write the first season of American Horror Story.
Did it?
The Murder House. I'm curious because it sounds like a lot of stuff happened in its walls, and that might be the cause of some presence. But also 28 Days Later. Could it be the movie 28 Days Later?
Oh, gosh.
Well, I gotta say thank you, Josh. Thank you, Boo, for giving us these stories for today.
Of course.
I gotta say they were super interesting. Loving New York so far. Gotta go check out some of these
Frank
boards.
Sinatra.
Listen,
There's a lot of mafia connections there.
my whole family and friends know New York is for me. Always has been, always will be. And I love being here.
She's gonna be the girl that walks around with a I Love New York t-shirt on.
Yeah, I'm gonna be wearing the touristy t-shirts, but joke's on you. I'm not a tourist.
Alright guys, thanks for stopping by, and let's spin
Wait,
that
Wheel!
Waiting.
We are in North Dakota. No, I'm kidding.
Where we going?
Oh, shit! What? Alaska. Oh my gosh! I've been waiting for Alaska!
I might have to throw in a story just for old time's sake.
I have a story for
For you.
Alaska. And I hope no one knows this story. Or at least, I say no one, but I mean Josh. I hope Josh doesn't know the story. Or Brooke,
I
maybe.
have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know any of stories from Alaska. So.
Perfect. I guess
I
I'm gonna
have-
have to reach out.
I have a good story for Alaska. Not sure if it's really ghosty or I think it's like a true crime.
Okay.
So I think
Let's do it.
I think I would be introducing a true crime.
That's
Alright,
fine.
y'all.
I'll cover the supernatural stuff.
Okay.
Thanks for stopping by, guys. It's been a pleasure. Hope y'all are safe and happy. Peace and
Yeah.
love.
Thanks for sticking through with us.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun.
And,
And I gotta call my lawyer.
Oh,
we'll see you in Alaska. And before I end this episode, anyone else have?
no?
No?
Oh, I'm set.
All right. So we'll see you in Alaska. And remember, follow us on Instagram at taleslesstraveled. Twitter is tltraveled. And why don't you just send us an email at taleslesstraveled@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you.
Still waiting for that email. Josh, do you mind queuing in New York? New York?
Maybe like the free copyright version.
Oh yeah, I'll find like a terrible version of it.
Or how about this?
Start spreading.
Alright, come on. Alright, we gotta go.
Alright, see you. Bye,
Nope,
bye.
she's gonna be singing for a while.
Leaving today.
Someone please give me a drink. Please.
I wanna be a part of it.
I don't see anyone getting me a drink.
New York.
I'm walking out this
New
door.
York.
One, two, three.
Our 13th stop is New York, the Empire State. It sounds like our 13th
Welcome to
stop
New
is New York.
Hold on. Anyone got Frank on them?
Oh wait, that's
No, we'd have
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
copyrighted.
Copyrighted?
Alright,
Yeah.
here I got it.
I could do like a New York MIDI.
no. We could sing it.
Walking it.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today.
I'm gonna be a part of it. New York, New York. I wanna wake up in a city.
This is clown shit.
Hey, this won't get us copyright strikes.
Is it free? Oh, it's the piano. Okay, here, I'll sing to it. Or we can all, you be back.
We'll go ahead.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. Sorry about the lyrics. I'm gonna be a part of it. New York, New York. These vagabond shoes
Tales less traveled.
are starting to stray.
Each of them their cute stuff.
I will be a part of it. New York, New York. I'm gonna wake up.
Where the ghosts and ghouls run around.
I hope this is how you end the podcast.
No. This will be the snippet for New York. Someone pull up the lyrics. Start spreading the news.